Beta Ray Bill is a Corbinite, but he's modified at the same time. But he has cybernetic enhancements because he's the guardian of the Corbinite race, protecting them on their journey through space as they fled from Surtur's demons. And you guys know how technology gets in fiction. Heck, technology in real life is dangerous. Through his journeys, he's accompanied by his trusty sentient warship, kind of similar to my Starlord video about how he has a warship that's kind of alive. Scuttlebutt. Yes, that's how you spell it on the screen. You can actually get more lore on Beta Ray Bill. You can pause the video if you have to here. They even go about his experimentation. By the way, anybody can't just go through this experimentation. He's one of the rare people that actually survived the process, going through mental pain and physical pain or stress in the process to be transformed into a cyborg. Appears to be mad brutal. Look at all them needles. I love when comic characters actually take the time to tell their actual story to other characters in the universe. Kind of good for us readers as well. Even states here how mind is an ancient, noble race that has lived in the heart of a galaxy. We built our cities in the burning skies and danced in the sunlight. That's where he goes deeper into his lore. Most of his civilization was destroyed. I alone was chosen by a leader to be the guardian of the Exodus, and so I was changed to suit my task. Scientists bioengineered him to produce a warrior of surpassing skill and strength. He was given a warship, Scuttlebutt. He states how Scuttlebutt and himself fought until our people had drawn away safe. Then we fled and escaped, but demons turned and followed us and stuff. I spit on the head of the fleet searching for sanctuary, finding none, saying he cannot find haven. And that's where he discovered Thor and all that good stuff. You guys know of the famous tale, whoever holds this hammer shall be worthy to possess the power of Thor. Beta Ray Bill is one of those few people that's actually worthy to lift the hammer, showing his warriorness, if that makes sense, and why he deserves the power. It even states here in the front of the panel, what I just said about whoever holds this hammer, if he shall be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. He even talks about how he has found a weapon to help him in his endeavors to protect his people and stuff, aka Mjolnir and stuff, before Stormbreaker stuff. Awkwardly enough, even without Mjolnir or any of the powers of Thor, he still was able to kind of get in a slugfest with Thor in their very first encounter and give him a decent fight, even without a weapon enhancing him and stuff. It's just his raw strength in general just gave him a war, showing that he's still in those powerhouse ranges. Just from the get-go, that's pretty impressive, slugging it out with Thor, a Hulkish tier being. So let's go over what he got with Stormbreaker and all that good stuff at his full power. Very versatile character thanks to Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, type of Asgardian type stuff. Stormbreaker is very similar to Mjolnir. It was forged by the dwarves with Uru metal, aka nigh indestructible metal. It was imbued by Odin himself with a small portion of his own Odin Force power. It is virtually equal to Mjolnir. Odin himself imbued Stormbreaker. By the way, he's fought Herald tier type of characters like Stardust, for example. He was able to absorb a lot of energy from Stardust, shield himself from energy projection type stuff. Even stalemates him in this little beam struggle, for Pete's sake. Blast power. Battle Feet absorbs it here, using the Stormbreaker, for example. Even mighty characters like the Silver Surfer, he absorbs their blast. Absorbs the blast here to create like a vortex of like energy blast power. Like you see the little twirl, that's kind of epic. Even states you never faced the force of the Odinpower, the hammer of the gods. Yet another occasion of absorbing blasts from Stardust. Respect it. That Aqua moment when Bill disintegrates chunks the size of aircraft carriers, because blasting something that big shouldn't be nothing to him. Hey, that's Quasar with him. These big old asteroid chunks the size of aircraft carriers is nothing to him. He destroyed Fenrir, making him nothing more than a skeleton. Can topple giants with his energy projection. He even disintegrated Cancerverse Colossus and alternate reality Colossus, which is insanity with his blast power. He destroys Omega Ray. When he's fighting Thor, he's not just doing those scuffles. Like, there's a difference between scuffles and slugfest wars. He's basically warring it out with Thor, to the point where their blows are leveling the countryside. He even caused his Stormbreaker to rip through tyrants with most overpowered sons of Galactus. Drones, just had his Stormbreaker run through his drones. He was able to help lift Asgard itself, like the entire Asgard, raw strength. Now that's a pretty impressive, flashy looking feat. Not mega flashy, because Thor's lifted like giant earth-sized snakes, but it's something that should be respected. He was able to cleave through some of Galactus' energy beams. Obviously, Galactus wasn't at full power, obviously, and crack his armor to a degree. Large chunk of debris gets destroyed by the destroyed planet, thanks to Bill. Even struck Stardust so hard, the planet underneath them got blown up, showing the level of striking power. Yeah, he's actually literally destroyed planets, so that's pretty flashy. No problem doing flurries of hammer hits, like fighting Stardust on plenty of occasions. By the way, giving Thor this much of a competition in raw strength is way more impressive than you think, considering the lore of Thor. Never forget, in Marvel, Thor has lifted planet-sized snakes. Not to mention Thor is a direct rival to characters like Hercules, who is a god of strength level character that can literally lift the heavens or a universe or sky on his back, and yet Betty Ray Bill can fight Thor, who matches this guy like Hercules on a consistent basis. Betty Ray Bill could have right intent of being able to lift the heavens thanks to the fact that Marvel likes to incorporate Greek myth, which means you can't count it as outlier because that's some serious writer intent. If Marvel wants to count feats like this from myth feats and stuff like that in Marvel, lifting heavens seems uncalculable, but hey, Betty Ray Bill's strength matching Thor consistently even without Stormbreaker or Mjolnir. I'm just saying. He withstood this planet being destroyed right under him durability wise, so yeah, he's durable as crap too. Heck, he even got drilled through a planet or rushed through the planet and survived the planet explosion. All it did was mess up his clothes, it seems. Yeah, it's a lot of fights with Stardust. Yeah, I know, I keep going back to the battle. That's like one of his major battles. Bill could just casually fly in the stars to search for weapons. I got the weapon, but I'm a bit scorched, but I'm okay, just flying in stars. He survives blasts from Galactus that did this to the part of the planet. Like, look how scorched it looks. Like, yikes. Super yikes. Can survive being in the heart of a star. Of course, like I literally just showed him being a star, so being in the heart of a star is no big deal. Naturally, being a powerhouse tier in Marvel, he can fly at massively faster than light speeds. I mean, galaxy hopping while he's fighting Silver Surfer, so it shows his fighting speed. I mean, look how fast he can spin his hammer in different directions, like overhead, like almost faster than I can see, blocking and deflecting stuff, drilling through things. To be able to escape the pull of a black hole, he has to be faster than light, so yeah, that's why he's able to do that. In his battle feats with Stardust, he literally blitzed him across the solar system, showing, yeah, he's faster than light, causing collateral, getting slammed. I mean, he even dodged blasts from his own ship's scuttlebutt. While weakened, he survives the explosion of a ship, the re-entry, and landing from a very high distance. It's stuff like this you know that he's strong. He survived this. I mean, he was jacked up from Galactus, but he got smacked in between his hands. Yeah, he can actually create portals, open portals by spinning his hammer really quick. He can use it to run away in combat if he's fighting some people that's too strong if he wants to. Like the time he teleported away from Ego, then teleported back with a big asteroid to hit him with. Let me teleport away to bring some weapons to fight you, Ego. I didn't even know you can teleport an actual black hole, but Betty Ray Bill can teleport an actual black hole to a place where there's not a single atom of matter to mess with within a million light years. So the black hole can't suck up crap. He can teleport to Asgard from Earth because of warp jump, warp tunnels or wormholes, right? Or quantum jump. Why are you lowballing Silver Surfer speed talking about near light speed? You know Silver Surfer's way faster than near light speed. He's fought Super Skrulls before, even shields it from its fire. You know, Skrulls that be having multiple different abilities. Heck, he's even fought Sam Alexander Nova, like Kid Nova, shielding him from, yeah, he can make full-blown Invisible Woman-styled force fields, like a legit bubble. Stormbreaker even has some form of healing. Heck, even restoring Thor's strength. Lightning Blast power can do this to Fenrir, can use lightning from all directions to destroy a whole bunch of demons. He can summon storms like Thor to eclipse the sun, eclipse the sky from the black sun. He can even calm storms down. And yes, he can use other type of elements like conjuring the flames of Muspelheim. It states here, the flame is from Muspelheim, the realm of fire. It will light your tribute for thousands of years. Someone can say he can produce lightning and he can produce flames if you want to. But somehow the flame can burn in the vacuum of space. Well, Muspelheim fire for it. Thanks to Stormbreaker, it can track energy signatures as well. If you're not worthy of the hammer, he can kind of bind you in place by like putting Stormbreaker on you. And you can't move. It's just going to kind of just hold you there for a second. Like he does this to poor Nova. Like a lot of speed type characters do, he can use their velocity or momentum to increase his attack power. Like the fact he can have Stormbreaker circle a planet, use that velocity to hit Stardust with extra force. This kind of reminds me of how the Flash isn't known for his raw physical strength, but thanks to his speed momentum, it can increase his punching power to an extremely high degree, to the point where he basically does have super strength, to the point where you can punch this hard, you basically got super strength. That's kind of what Betty Ray Bill can do with his weapons, making it increase momentum and speed to make his attacks even harder, even though he already has super strength, like on this occasion here. Can't you respect it? You can share information and memories thanks to the Odin Force, aka Odinpower, it states in this little particular can. Odinpower kind of links them together type of thing. This let him know who Galactus was in the first place. It's even implied he can manipulate gravity, repelling this being away. Thanks a lot, Beta Ray Bill. He can create a powerful vortex that can draw energy out of Ego, the living planet. He's totally capable of being a leader, like the time he led Asgard against Surtur's armies and such. Stormbreaker and Mjolnir are strong enough to destroy a portal gate that dwarfs stars and crazy stuff. Like, look at the massiveness of it. Further proving their level of power even more. Probably sick of seeing Stardust in his vid, but yeah, you got the good idea of just him beating on Stardust. For those that don't consider feats accurate, well, how about writer intent? Thor even says big stuff like saying he is my equal in battle and blessed by my father, like letting you know that Thor considers him as equal in just strength and power in general in battle. This picture pretty much adds up with all this good stuff based on Thor's statements. With Hercules, they should be able to all lift the heavens, technically, if we're being real. Adding in myth feats, stuff like that. What more do you need? He's just highly respected by Thor himself. One of the poster boys of power in Marvel Comics. He even trusts Beta Ray Bill with the responsibility of being the king of Asgard, which is saying a lot. More proof that he's in them black hole ranges at least. He had resisted the pull of 2 different black holes. The further proves he deserves in this powerhouse tier. Cannot sleep on him. Not 1 black hole, but 2. This is a brain fart. There's a machine that's leeching the energy from your mind and the power from your limbs. It states, we are the source of their power and we give them ability to dominate us, but we can also defy them, something they would never expect. We can ignore their commands, oppose their orders, and we can choose to be free, showing that the top tiers have mental resistance and willpower. You know, willpower is like the ultimate counter to telepathic or mind control type stuff in fiction. You know, he just got that much willpower. There's a reason why he's worthy, right? It's almost like if Thor fights Beta Ray Bill, he might as well not even throw Mjolnir at him because he could just catch it mid-flight. He can be a serious hindrance to fighting Thor. Oh, by the way, he has like power limiters. Think of this like his weighted training clothing. When he takes off these power limiters, he just goes insane with power. So he can already match Thor in his base state. When he didn't got this, then he can go his ultimate mode that lasts only for a few minutes though. That's the caveat to that. He uses this to contain his energy for the most part. On Scuttlebutt, another downside is while he may surpass the Thor tier of power with this power limiters off, the big caveat is that it only lasts for a couple minutes and he becomes heavily damaged. Like more than likely that his power he's producing, his durability can't handle the level he's at. I don't know how much of a power increase this is when it comes to a multiplier though. In this particular occasion, he was protecting a starving Galactus from a massive fleet of ships, blitzed through several planet-like ships and destroys thousands of warheads. So in this particular instant, I would say he definitely surpassed the Silver Surfer or Thor tier temporarily with his power limiters off. I mean, because if he's already a Silver Surfer tier or Thor tier in base, and this form just completely boosts him to a whole new level, that just kind of lets you know that it did boost him to a higher degree. But yeah, it's not something he can just spam and it only lasts for a couple minutes. This is during dire situations, but which is insane. For the most part, he's equal to Thor like this, but when he removes the limiters and gets a vast boost temporarily, he becomes greater than base Thor. This ain't counting like King Thor and Rune King Thor and stuff, just the normal standard base Thor, guys. Plus, we don't actually have a number calculator for this. So yeah, we just know he's stronger, but we don't know about we don't know if he's times 10 stronger, times 50, times 100. Like, we don't know that, you know what I'm saying? Comics don't like to be that accurate on a lot of things. So you got base and then power limiters removed. You know, makes sense, right? Doesn't have as many showings of this as I would like though. It's almost like the writers have forgotten about this. I never really got a chance to get on his ship Scuttlebutt. It has a few cool features. Like it literally fuels itself by consuming entire stars. One heck of a battery source. Naturally, it can travel several times the speed of light. I mean, it has to be able to travel through space. Like it's literally sentient. It can act independently or operate independently of Bill. This is a more clear quality panel of him fighting the Silver Surfer in massively fast and light speeds. Of course, Scuttlebutt can fly massively fast and light speeds as well to keep up with these godlike beings in speed. You can see how they're passing stuff in space really quickly. Scuttlebutt is good in battles with Thor. I mean, heck, he even fought Thor and shot him back on different occasions. This ship can knock Stardust back, so it seems like the ship is a planetary buster type thing too. I mean, it does consume stars for power. Scuttlebutt can literally knock Silver Surfer off his board and stun him, the same guy that doesn't flinch from star explosions. So to let you know that the ship itself is very powerful when it comes to blast power. Scuttlebutt can release powerful mines as well. Like you see that many, like right up from the tail. And it can deploy drones. It has a beam that can draw things in. It can even create force fields. Hey, Thor, you literally see the field. He made a shield big enough to stop this tsunami, for example. The ship itself can even decontaminate and heal Bill himself. So it's a very useful ship. Like if he's battle damaged, Scuttlebutt can come and save the day. Let me heal you, Bill. You're my captain type of thing. It creates stasis fields for those that are on board of the ship. Scuttlebutt's handy. It's like his version of Millennium Falcon, but alive. It has long-range sensors or long-range scanners. Self-repair itself, in this case with Thor, can detect and read energy. If anybody has their doubts about him being Thor level, how about the fact that Thor wanted to make them have a fight that was so fair, it was a fight weaponless, the power of your own right arms to its ends. He said he has removed all enchantments from the combatants, all the powers of storm and lightning, Tempest and Thunder to really prove Beta Ray Bill's skill and power even more than fighting fair and square. This is probably one of the most fair fights purposely made between Thor and Beta Ray Bill. The fight was completely even in this occasion to show Beta Ray Bill's powers. Of course, this is still him without his power limiters taken off, obviously, which is still insane that he's able to match Thor with all these enchantments like I showed earlier. This part right here, leveling the countryside, knocking each other out to the point, but Beta Ray Bill recovered first. The only reason he technically won this fight is because he recovered first. This is how they kind of came to an agreement to get in his own hammer and good stuff. But of course, him and Thor fought again. By no surprise, Beta Ray Bill still held his ground even more to show his competence like we all know he can. I mean, you have no choice but to respect him, man. He's consistently fighting Thor in wars. Yes, he's fought Thor again, causing this much destruction with their blows, but Thor was kind of powered up because he was kind of on some pseudo Warriors Madness type stuff, which is technically a 10 times multiplier, so that kind of makes sense. It's okay to lose to Thor when he's like in some pseudo Warrior Madness. That's like a 10 times boost. He was fighting freaking Silver Surfer and Beta Ray Bill kind of at the same time. Mr. Bill has even fought this Storm Giant. Plenty of cool epic battle feats with Stormbreaker, summoning lightning, energy projection. How about you have to respect anybody that gets in a slugfest with the Silver Surfer. Not only that, they was moving massively faster than light, like literal punches from Silver Surfer, absorbing energy blast, punches consistently. Scuttlebot got involved. Yeah, just fighting the Silver Surfer, respectable. I've probably shown a little bit too much Stardust in this vid, but yeah, he can fight on par with Stardust, Herald, powerhouse, Thor tier type of character. And fun stuff, Beta Ray Bill can summon Lockjaw when he feels like it, because that's just awesome, the teleporting dog from the Inhumans. That's freaking epic. Hey Guardians, Star-Lord. He can lift sextillions of tons as a low ball. He should be able to lift the heavens like Thor or God of Strength level characters. Heck, we already know he can lift a planet-sized snake, matching Thor this much in strength. Even Odin had to make their fight fair without enchantments, and it still was a good fight. I'm just saying. I take these with a grain of salt, but look how he looks on Marvel.com, even though I don't take it as Bible. Look at his durability of 7, energy of 7, fighting skills of 7. He's a warrior, speed of 7 because of fighting Silver Surfer and fighting speed and travel speed, strength 7. You know, all that stuff kind of does add up. He has that crazy weight, like 480 pounds. Get a lot of lore on his history and his biography, all of that good stuff. Beta Ray Bill is even classified as an Alpha Plus class power by the Galadorian Space Knight, enhanced Corbinite state, power equivalency to Asgardian demigod, proven more in the lore and writer intent that he's supposed to be in those Thor-ish ranges. I think that's pretty freaking consistent. It was a Galadorian Space Knight known as Icon that said this. Pretty accurate assessment because she just ranked Ronan the Accuser after that. Like you see how she ranked Ronan too. Icon, the Galadorian Space Knight, Icon. Talk about how you use cosmic energies. There's a lot of powerhouses in one setting, so you get the idea. Beta Ray Bill even stated he's crushed the moons with his fist and a slugfest on one of his mini battles, you know, standard epic battle feats for Beta. And yes, this is his true form. You're seeing that correctly. Stormbreaker isn't the only weapon he's wielded. Heck, he's even wielded the freaking Twilight sword in more recent comics. Yes, Beta Ray Bill has his own run. Beta Ray Bill can't even change back to his normal Beta Ray Bill form, thanks to the fact that recent Thor has actually destroyed Stormbreaker. Like him and Thor have been having disagreements because Thor becoming the Allfather and stuff in the new Herald of Thunder stuff. They literally tell you that and explain what happened with that. It states that Odin's enchantment let Bill revert to his humanoid form when he struck the hammer on the ground and stuff. But now that Stormbreaker is destroyed, he can't do so, you know. He left Asgard and searched for a new enchanted weapon. Evidently, Twilight needs to have worthiness as well. Shown here in this panel fighting Surtur, getting punched back. Still shows his resilience regardless of it. Literal battle feat fighting in hand-to-hand combat for the worthiness of Twilight, showing his skills on why he's respected, parrying, getting kneed, fighting out in a literal slugfest. Actually insane that this fight's going on this long. One of the few recent comic type stuff that has longer fight panels. I can dig it. Bill is tired of his sadistic stuff, body slams him thanks to him thinking of his old families and stuff, killed families, you have destroyed worlds, he getting mad. The motivation he needs to slam him on this spear, and that doesn't seem to do nothing really. Even gains the Twilight sword. Yeah, so he kind of got like a new enchanted weapon. It even states the sword agrees with the Corbinite. He even slayed Surtur thanks to the power of Twilight, which is insane. You're probably thinking, wait a minute, did he just kill a Skyfather? Well, here's the thing. It's implied that Surtur might not be at his full levels of power because he's kind of been like banished to certain parts of Muspelheim. Stated right here how he's been trapped in this part of the realm, waiting for a warrior I can defeat to prove Twilight. He's not really worthy right now, so it's implied that he's not really at his fullest might. Slugging it out with Surtur is ridiculous, even if he's not at full power, I would say. But But now that Beta Ray Bill has Twilight, I wonder how the fight between him and Herald of Thunder Thor would go now after doing this to his head. He can even revert back to his mortal form again. No lie, it's good to see Bill get some love in recent stuff. You can tell Beta Ray Bill misses Stormbreaker though, man. Why does Thor have to be a butthole, man? He's got battle feats with Foom that's way bigger than him. He's using different weapons. This is before Twilight, of course, going back to his other feats. Survives getting slammed and stuff. Thanks to Thor, he can't even enjoy macking with his ladies because he can't turn into his humanoid form. Gosh, that's harsh. All that was linked to the Stormbreaker enchantment. Like, I'm really not trying to disrespect Bill, but, you know, when he defeated Surtur, it stated that his power was greatly diminished. But the Twilight Sword is the blade from the demon fire god Surtur, though. The only reason he knew about all this is because he's trying to negotiate getting his power back or being able to transform into his humanoid form from Odin, but Odin is severely depowered when it comes to just raw power in general. It's because he's literally having a conversation with Odin, the guy that made this enchantment possible in the first place, but now he's like super depowered and not the god he used to be, he states. He can still blitz and destroy minion fighters though. Don't get it twisted just because he ain't got Stormbreaker, or still a beast regardless of all of that. Seems to be skilled with multiple different weapons, like even different axes, arms, slicing and dicing. For those that are wondering how this happened, Thor is like in a whole new level of power thanks to being Herald of Galactus, powered and stuff. He fought Bill. Usually they will be equal, but this Thor is more powered up than before. Thor even states, in the past, you and I have fought as been equal, but like, yeah, Thor is pretty much saying, I'm not like that old Thor no more. Got power boosts, which is why right here, he actually destroyed Stormbreaker, which is why all this mess had to happen of him going to get the Twilight Sword in the first place, aka Thor being a butthole. Most of his career, he has Stormbreaker though, but on recent stuff, this is the recent stuff from where he has the Muspelheim Twilight Sword though. Hey, even in old stuff, they even say his echoes of his blows ring across the cosmos. I'm just saying, that's some crazy strength. He's lifted giant structures along with characters like Hercules and She-Hulk. There's a reason why they have them lifting up these giant structures along with these powerhouse tiers alongside them. There seems to be some clear writer intent here, I'm just saying. He's even gotten battle feats sending Great Gargoyle flying in past battle feats. He has no issues lifting big chunks of concrete with one arm. He's fought overpowered beings like Curse with his hammer throws, even hurt him. To prove that he's Thor level even more in the past, he even helped Thor break out of the Midgard serpent. Thanks to them working together with raw strength, pounding on it, just like that. Breaks off chunks of meteors with Quasar and Silver Surfer in a respectable manner in the past. He can create large shockwaves with his raw strength like that to hit a lot of people with area of effect at once. He even does this to 2 scrolls. I like seeing fun feats like Thor and Beta Ray Bill in the past being cool with each other and stopping big tidal waves or tsunamis, like just natural disasters, helping each other out. Breaking stuff like this is light work to him. Skyscrapers get one-shotted, could redirect big old ships. Beta Ray Bill was able to destroy a prison that was containing unworthy Thor, who is still a powerhouse, so this is impressive, showing Bill's strength. He can land the ship of the Guardians because he's strong like that. Gotten battle feats with helping Hela or fighting against Hela, knocking her off her feet, that stuff like that. Bill's strong enough to make Black Dwarf bleed, like a lot of blood. Organizations like SWORD classify Bill as a planetary being, whatever that means. Killed a frost giant off screen. He's even battled characters like Gladiator, a black hole level being for sure at bare minimum, taking straight attack slugfest style with these type beings. He's fought gamma type members like Sasquatch, amped if I might add on top of it. More gamma type members, like he's even fought Hulks like Red Hulk. Little brief scuffles here and there, showing Bill's power even more. He even fought and got the advantage over Cancerverse Doctor Strange, aka an alternate reality version of Doctor Strange. He's even fought characters like the Sentry. He's gotten overpowered and just raw physicals, but here's the thing. He has willpower and doesn't give up with his perseverance. Does the smart move by Battlefield removing him. The Sentry was kind of on some crack right here, so that was actually pretty freaking smart. Look at these reflexes saving Sif, showing more of his combat speed. How would you guys like to see a rematch between Beta Ray Bill and current Thor? Do you want him to get Stormbreaker back, or do you want him to see how he goes with this Twilight Sword? Like, imagine a fight with current Thor versus Beta Ray Bill with this new Twilight Sword. I want to see the limitations of it. Who knows what Marvel will do? But I'll see you guys later. Did you guys enjoy Beta Ray Bill? Did you know he was this strong? Did you know he was Thor level? Come on now, you got to know he's Thor level. That's pretty obvious. He can get stronger by removing his limiters. It's like the writers have forgotten about that though. I don't think we've seen that recently when it comes to removing his limiters. He can revert to mortal form thanks to Odin's enchantment with Stormbreaker, and now thanks to this Muspelheim Twilight Sword, he can do the same now yet again. Since comics are ongoing, who knows what they're going to do with the future of the character, but we just have to wait and see. Hit a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you can. Hopefully you enjoyed your wait. I will see you guys later. Respect, Beta Ray Bill. I mean, anybody that gets in a romantic relationship with Sif herself is impressed. I'm personally a fan of Thor and Sif's relationship. I'm not going to lie, if I'm being completely honest.